Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the week, and welcome to the countdown to the crossing over Jordan. I'm Fred Hickman.
And I'm Michael Lano, sitting in for Vince Cellini. It appears Michael Jordan is tired of sitting. His return now imminent.
That's right. The rumored Michael Jordan comeback has been applauded and poo-pooed and diminished and reborn over the past several months. But Monday, something new. It is confirmed.
CNNSI.com NBA insider Marty Burns, along with reporters from the Associated Press and the Chicago Sun-Times, had an exclusive half-hour interview with the six-time champ. He basically told the group, barring any flare-up of tendonitis in his knees, the five-time league MVP is coming back. An official announcement expected sometime over the next 10 days.
In our Chicago bureau is Marty Burns, who is as close to this story as anyone else, as an in-depth piece on the website that you may want to read. Marty, news conference within the next 10 days in Washington, D.C. Why do you think Michael broke the news to you guys today instead of perhaps at some grandiose news conference?
Well, I think it's important to note that Jordan hasn't come right out and said the exact words yet, and we're going to have to wait for the press conference for that to happen. But he clearly knows that there's a lot of controversy about this, and I think he wants to pave the way for this announcement to come out. He wants people to know that he's doing this for the right reasons, for the love of the game, and because he misses basketball and he really wants to get back in the court.
Marty, some refreshing comments from Michael saying that, winning isn't all about winning championships. Kind of odd to hear that from Michael, a blood and guts, win-at-all-cost guy. Do you really think he believes that and means that?
Well, I think that's how we know that he's serious about this comeback, because for Michael, he's clearly crossed the hurdle in his mind that he can come back and maybe not contend for a championship right away. He knows that the Wizards aren't maybe a championship caliber team, and he said to us today that maybe making the playoffs is a form of winning, just like winning a championship would be.
Marty, his practices have been closed to the media, as we know, but you've talked, I guess, to guys who've been around those practice sessions, perhaps some who've practiced with him. What's your sense as to how much the guy who comes back, if he does, is going to resemble the guy we last saw hitting the jumper to win the championship 3 years ago?
Well, as you said, the practices are closed, but we do pick up bits of information from players and spectators who are allowed in. And they say that Michael's still a very top elite player. He started out a little slow. He had some tendonitis in the knee, but as the knee has healed, his game has picked up. I don't think anybody expects him to be the player he was when he was 32, but I think they feel that he's still smart enough and savvy enough to get the job done.
Marty, the one knock on Michael coming back is this is going to tarnish the image of the greatest player of all time. What does Michael say to that criticism?
Well, he addressed that directly today, and he said, you can say that, but I'm doing this for the love of the game. And, frankly, nobody remembers that Babe Ruth hit 100, 180 or something like that in his last season in Major League Baseball. So,
what do you think? You've covered the game a long time. Good or bad for the game? Will the image be tarnished? Good or bad idea?
Well, I think it's obviously great for basketball. It's going to create a lot of interest, and there's a lot of Jordan fans who want to see him play again. I think it might tarnish his image a little bit in that there's no way he can top that ending, that perfect ending he had in Utah in '98. But like I said, most people in the long run will remember all his great years in basketball and not how he went out ultimately.
All right, Marty, thanks very much. Marty Burns, CNNSI.com. Thanks for joining us, and great job breaking such a huge story. You look at this story, and regardless of your opinion on whether or not Michael should come back, there is no denying he will increase the popularity of the game tenfold. Vince Cellini has more on Michael's impact on the game, beginning with the guy who has to be smiling from ear to ear, NBA Commissioner David Stern.
I would say it would be great if he can play the way he wants to have him exhibiting his talents and skill and class in our league. And anything else, any other view by anyone is, I think, out of place.
He is going to get his butt kicked all over the court. Kobe, Iverson, Finley, these guys, they're just going to make him look bad. And it'll finally put to rest the fact that MJ was the greatest, but he's no longer the greatest.
One more thing on which the commissioner and the Maverick owner differ. But here is something on which we all can agree. Michael Jordan is good business. In a negotiation year between the networks and the NBA involving billions of dollars in television rights fees, his airness could raise the stakes. When Jordan went away, so did millions of viewers, some of them merely casual basketball fans who tuned in only for number 23.
I think if you look at the numbers, there has been an effect since he's been out of the league. You can dance around it and spin it however you want, but the numbers are lower since Michael has left. there has been a difference.
Michael Jordan's comeback at this point is a double-edged sword for the NBA. I mean, you know, Michael can't play forever, and the NBA knows it needs to move beyond sort of the Michael effect which has sort of been the height of its popularity, and they know they need to develop young stars. On the other hand, having Michael out there playing, you know, this season and maybe one more is going to be a boon for TV ratings.
And it's a very different league to which Jordan returns. A potential dynasty in Southern California and a rogue MVP in Philadelphia. Players from Toronto to Sacramento grabbing at the spotlight Jordan left behind.
I think it would create a tremendous amount of interest, particularly now that some of these younger players are emerging. You know, there's going to be a kind of an evaluation stick there now, Michael Jordan. And I'm sure all the younger players will try to meet that.
Nobody knows if he's going to be the same type of player, but as far as the league is concerned, it'll be very good for the league because the fans have really kind of falling for the younger guys. If you bring somebody back like Michael, he's going to come back more like a superhero to save the day.
What's good for the game are the best players playing their best. And it doesn't make any difference who they are, what their age is, how tall they are, how short they are. It doesn't make any difference.
The bottom line is America loves its sports stars, at any age and for all time. Mark Cuban looks at Jordan and sees diminished skills. Others see the profit of profit.
There's a lot of guys in the NBA who can compete, but he's not going to be a top 5, maybe not even a top 10 player. And I think by the fans watching and seeing that, they'll realize just how great a game we have today.
The best example I could give you is that we set an NBA record for attendance. His last game in Atlanta, we were playing in the Dome, and there were over 62,000 people there. And had we been able to sell 75,000 tickets, we would have had 70,000, 75,000 people there. So just because of his presence, that people wanted to be in the building with him.
All the more reason for the NBA to open its doors and embrace Jordan's return. I'm Vince Jones.
Oh, my goodness. Well, wait a minute. Everybody hold the phone because Jordan's official line is still non-committal. He told the Washington Post that we should all be careful not to be rash. And as far as his confirming a return, quote, I didn't say that. I have not said that, end quote.
Now to the Monday Night Football opener. Giants and Broncos christening new Invesco Field at Mile High. For many, the preseason pick to win it all, Denver, not the Giants, the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. Seems they are always in search of respect. Coach Jim Fossil plastered preseason publications all over the locker room, publications that predicted the Eagles to win the East. Tough opener for them. At Denver, there's the old and the new. Invesco at Mile High, christened by old Bronco greats, led by John Elway. Speaking of Bronco greats, Terrell Davis back in the starting lineup. 7-zip Denver, Kerry Collins going to work. Collins to Amani Toomer. 43-yard touchdown. We're tied at 7, and Toomer notices a star in his midst. Hey, Reggie Jackson, what's up? Well, Reggie's loving that. Denver coming right back. Brian Griesky off the play fake. Greasy to Ed McCaffrey. 16-yard touchdown. 14-7 Denver. How about this? 7 seconds before the half, Jason Elam attempting an NFL record 64-yarder. He had the distance, just a little wide left. But because of the spot of that kick, the Giants turn it around. They're going to try a 63-yarder. 1 second left. Owen Bachman, not even close as he hooks it. Kind of a weird ending. 14-7 at the half. Second half. Here come the Giants and Collins again. Toomer again. Nice job to barely stay in bounds, get the touchdown. We're tied at 14. Then disaster for Denver. It doesn't look that bad as you watch it the first time. Greasy, Ed McCaffrey, great one-hand catch, but he broke his leg on that. And if you were squeamish at all, you may not want to watch this replay as you get a pretty good look at what happened to Ed McCaffrey in that leg. Ugh. He snaps back. He is out for the rest of the season. This Bronco team, very resilient. Right after that is Ed McCaffrey, leaves the cheers. It's Greasy. Locking down. Greasy near perfect in this one. To Rod Smith, who had a great game. 9 catches, 115 yards, and that touchdown. Denver beginning to pull away up 21-14. The guy could have been the star for the Giants. Their punter. Watch where he kicks this thing. From the 1, right? Nearly 80 yards in the air. This a 90-yard punt for Rodney Williams. That's the longest punt in Giants history. But not much solace as Denver wins this one, 31-20. Denver very impressive. Terrell Davis ran for 101. Brian Greasy, 21 of 29 for 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, but again, this win bittersweet. Ed McCaffrey with a broken leg. He's out for the rest of the season, and they will miss him. He had 101 catches last year.
It's kind of a bittersweet evening because of, won the game, but we lost a great football player. And, I can't say enough about Ed McCaffrey, and he's been one of my best friends on the team, and it hurts a lot. It was probably the hardest game I ever had to play because right in the middle of the game, I had this gut-wrenching feeling that I was responsible for one of my friends getting hurt, and so it was hard for me to get back out there and concentrate on what I had to do.
Coming up on the show, we have a one-of-a-kind look at Barry Bonds' chase for history, what teammates and opponents say about this incredible season, but what he says goes a long way in determining why fans have not embraced him. It's 63 and counting for Barry, 54 for fun-loving Sammy Sosa. We have the Cubs playoff chase and more coming up.
If you're looking for the most dependable medium-duty truck, consider the reliable line from Mitsubishi Fuso. They can handle virtually anything your business can throw at them, on road or off. Mitsubishi Fuso, the right truck for the job.
We have got to cut costs, people. Ideas.
We could open an account on FedEx.com, save 10% on online express shipping.
Okay, how about this? We open an account on FedEx.com, we save 10% on online express shipping.
That is wonderful. You just said the same thing I said, only you did this.
No, I did this.
Makes all the difference.
Bingo. That's good.
Right on the nose.
It's really good.
This is a complete broadband solution with a nitro-powered on switch. This is igniting your mission-critical applications on the fattest optical IP pipe on the planet. This is your business, screaming 1,000 times faster than yesterday. This is moving beyond connected. This is riding the light. This is the technology that makes it happen. Quest. Ride the light.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Chance that history was washed away. Rain in New York postponed the Red Sox and Yankees. Roger Clemens trying to become the first pitcher ever to post a 20-1 record. Joe Torre said it would have been great theater. Instead, Clemens will now go for number 20 at home Tuesday against the White Sox. Now for the Mariners, the All-Star, Freddie Garcia working on the Angels. Garcia, 8 innings, a 3-hit ball, struck out 8, so he was in fine fiddle. So will the Mariners. As usual, 5-1 lead. Watch how they put this one away. Charles Gibson out in left field. Nice catch. Win number 104 for the Mariners. They're 12 away from the all-time record. 18 games remain.
And now this business news. The economy stinks. Both the Dow and the tech stocks are down. But the good news this year is this. Bonds is outstanding. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with my grammar, thanks. I speak of Barry Bonds. You know, the guy who's hit 63 big ones, 7 shy of Ty Maguire's single-season record. Next stop for Bonds is homer-friendly Houston beginning Tuesday. But our Tom Rinaldi begins his in-depth look at what makes Barry tick right in Barry's backyard.
It's morning at Pac-Bell Park, and players go through typical workouts hours before game time. Some take infield. Others shag balls. Barry Bonds sits on the bench. 10 minutes pass. The team practices. Bonds talks to friends. 15 minutes. More drills. Bonds still talks. Half an hour later, he takes batting practice, then heads back to the clubhouse. But once the game begins...
In the first, he hits one high. He hits it deep, and he hits it out of here.
Bonds hits yet another home run, the only run the Giants will score this day. And isn't that the only swing and the only thing that really matters?
Why isn't Barry out stretching? Well, who really cares? If he's out there playing left field the way he plays left field and he's hitting home runs, who should really care? Now, you want to be a team, and I can see that aspect of it as well. But you know what? He goes and plays, and that's all you can ask.
Bonds stands alone, and the other players understand and recognize that. They may not like it. They may be put off by it. Some, in fact, are. But they've come to recognize over the years that that's how it is. That's how it's going to be. From him, you get numbers. From somebody else, you get leadership.
Hopefully, the fans in this country will rally behind this race like they did the other races. But, you know, Barry, in his case, I don't know. Because, you know, Barry sometimes gets locked into what he's doing, and what people think and what they want to hear ain't important to him.
Big Mac. Swing and a shot into the corner. It might make it. There it is. 62, folks. And we have a new home run champion.
The last great home run race in 1998 was a near mythic pursuit. Mark McGwire was baseball's Paul Bunyan, a slugger from Central Casting, with his lovable son cheering him on. Sammy Sosa, the lovable Cub, was his effervescent foil. Both chased a 37-year-old record of reverence, and both broke it. 3 years later, Barry Bonds is vying to break the new record, 70 home runs. But this version of the pursuit seems to lack the magic. Start with the would-be record breaker's own reluctance.
No, I don't want 70. I don't need it. I need to win. I don't need 70 home runs. What is 70 home runs going to do for me? I still lost. What is good for the public? It's not good for me.
You look at Bonds, you see a guy of incredible talent, you know, almost without exception, without question, the best player of his era, who doesn't exude the fun that Sosa did in 98 and that McGwire did down the stretch in 98.
I think it's tough for Barry sometimes. With all the attention you get for your play on the field, you know, you get a lot more attention for what happens off the field than what you do there. And, you know, I think that would be tough for anybody to handle.
Bonds is a mixture of excellence and enigma. Even inside the heat of a pennant race, his home runs can seem less distant than he does. Inside the Giants clubhouse, much has been made of his 3 lockers, his large leather recliner, his own TV, set up where only he can see it. Yet in person, Bonds can be candid and engaging on topics from home runs to his own reputation.
If me not hitting a home run puts us in first place, I'll take first place. Longevity, I'll hit home runs next year. I hit home runs the year after that. I'm not retiring. People say, you know, you can be a jerk. You're right, I can be at times. But so can you. You know, but the thing is that I'm in the public eye, so when I'm a jerk, it's just publicized.
It was publicity that famously caused Roger Maris's hair to fall out in clumps as he pursued Babe Ruth's home run record. The scrutiny Bonds faces, with more media, a pennant race, and even fewer pitches to hit, will only intensify with each at-bat. So will the pressure on a player who hasn't asked for the role of America's slugger.
A lot of guys that get the same negative press and the same negative response when he goes on the road to various cities would crumble under that kind of pressure, but Barry seems to thrive on it. He knows what's best for Barry, and it's nobody else's business to tell him how to handle it.
In a world where performance matters most, should personality really matter at all? Is it the record that we care about or the record breaker? As long as Bonds keeps hitting home runs and is the center of his team's hopes, does it matter if he lingers on the margins of the team itself?
We know when we get between the lines, we're 25 guys on that field all working for the same goal, and that's to get to the postseason. And Barry chasing a home run record, we know as a team if he gets the record, we have a better chance of winning.
Is it important for you to be liked by your colleagues? Sure. But what can you do if they don't? Not everyone's going to like you. That's life. That's the way it is.
He hits a rocket. Where's it going to go? It is out of here. His third of the afternoon and number 63.
The vast majority of Bonds' home runs this season have been meaningful to the team, not just to him. Nearly half have tied games or given San Francisco the lead. Still, one man hits a home run. And this home run race seems to belong to one man, whether he wants it to or not, making for a lonely chase toward history. In San Francisco, I'm Tom Rinaldi.
Well, only perhaps, but very effective and consistently improving on the season has been Bonds. He's on pace, in fact, to knock a dozen out of various and sundry parks before it's all done this season, and that would be plenty, wouldn't it?
Coming up, Sunday was a disaster for Charlie Batch and the Lions, but it got worse Monday for the Lions QB. The winds of change blow through Detroit. Keep it here.
Ask an Expert is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. Want to be an expert? Stay at Holiday Inn Express and stay smart.
Tim from Lebo, Kansas asks Corey Klein, I'm the smallest guy on the football team. What do I do to bulk up?
Tim, I would do what all your high school coaches say or whatnot and continue lifting hard and condition. But just because you're the smallest guy on the team doesn't mean anything. I'm one of the smallest defensive tackles in my conference, and I get to start and I get to play and enjoy a lot of success. So being small doesn't mean necessarily it's a bad thing. You might be able to use it to your advantage. So don't worry about it and keep your head up.
To ask an expert, log on to cnnsi.com and send a question to the expert of your choice.
Reactor 3 at critical mass. Core temperature still rising.
Close the flow channels. Activate the hydrogen recombiners.
Meltdown.
Do it.
In 10 seconds.
Are you new to the team? Well, actually, I'm with the tour group. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Black Rocket. Cute. How's it work?
It's an e-business network platform made by Genuity. There used to be a company called BBN. Pioneered the internet back in '69. You were probably a hippie back then, huh? Hosting, access, security. It runs on this fiber optic stuff. Genuity's got a bazillion miles of it. Pretty freaky, huh?
Hey, what are you doing?
This is the Network Operations Center. Bottlenecks are detected, firewalls are protected. Hey, that rhymes. Pop the clutch! This is where the business of e-business happens. Billions of dollars are exchanged in these servers. It's that way.
That way.
Not this way. Wasn't that a fun trip? What do you think?
I got it.
You sure? Because we can go again.
I got it.
You can do anything with the Black Rocket, the e-business network platform from Genuity.
Would you like to lower your monthly mortgage payments or use the equity in your home to consolidate your credit card or other debts? Just log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED. Today's low fixed rate with 0 points is only 6.875%. Lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. It's smart money from ditech.com. For fast, friendly service, apply online or call 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
Welcome back to Sports Tonight. The Lions are not messing around. Charlie Batch lasted one game as the starter. He's been benched. Ty Detmer will start next week against Dallas. Batch was brutal in Sunday's 28-6 loss to the Packers. He made bad reads, bad throws, 2 costly interceptions, and he was sacked 7 times. New coach Marty Morningweg said the play at QB was unacceptable. We need to go in another direction. Well, the decision has already been made. Replacement officials will work week 2 in the NFL. Negotiators for the locked out officials and the league both believe they are too far apart to resume talks. NFL spokesman Greg Aiello said there's little hope of progress and a meeting would not be productive. The league, they have new bargaining power since there has not been many controversial calls with the replacement refs. Talks broke off Saturday between the two parties, but chief negotiator for the officials, Tom Condon, says his side would like to talk again as soon as possible.
Right away, the Panasonic replay of the day. Hear what I say. And watch. We'll take you out to St. Louis. That was a bad movie. Look at Tiger Woods. Now, see, he's working out there. The whole ball bounce thing, he whiffed. That's the one he did in the commercial. Well, this one he's doing in St. Louis where they're going to have the American Express Championships later, and he's trying to show people that he can do it.
There we go.
Crack that thing. I couldn't do that from a tee.
Replay of the Day is brought to you by Panasonic High Definition Television, HD TV from Panasonic. Just slightly ahead of our time.
High Definition Television, made possible by Panasonic.
You know what's great about knowing who you are and where you want to go in life? You make getting there an adventure too. Acura certified pre-owned vehicles. You know where you're going.
Do bedfellows make strange politics? Are Capitol Hill couples starting to share the spotlight? And what about marriages that cross party lines? Greenfield at Large. Tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern on CNN.
And he will draw intentional. Welcome back. Cubs chasing a playoff spot, hosting the Reds. Chris Reitsma walks Sammy Sosa intentionally. Floodgates open from there. Roosevelt Brown RBI single. Ron Coomer knocks home 2 with a double. Joe Girardi kind of fists one out to left center, drops in. 2 more score. Cubs build a nice little cushion, 6-1 lead. It's 6-2 when Brown steps up and swats one out. Knocks in 4, 3 for 4 in the game. Sammy 1 for 4. Cubs win it 8-2. They are now 1.5 behind the Giants in the wild card race. Speaking of the wild card, Cardinals in the hunt, playing at Milwaukee, and Big Mac just teeing off. 2-run shot from McGuire to the tune of 445 feet off the scoreboard. He's got 48 hits this year, 24 of them home runs. Darryl Kyle making it stick. Kyle, nice outing for him. Cards win 8-zip. They are now just a half game behind the Giants in the wild card race.
The Michael Watch officially on, but that's going to do it for this edition of the show. I'm Freddie.
I'm Michael Allen. We'll see you.
There is a venture capitalist out there with hundreds of millions of dollars for technology firms, startups, expansions, firms with new ideas, all in a friction-free business environment. Why would a venture capitalist work this way? Because they're convinced that technology is a can't-miss investment, and they'll do whatever it takes to help companies succeed. Who is this venture capitalist?
Pennsylvania.
Come on, boy. Come on. You want to wrestle with Daddy?
They go at this every weekend. I guess it's a guy thing.
Come on, Duke.
I sure hope you have a good dental plan. Yeah.
We've got Delta. Huh? We've got Delta Dental.
No one protects you like Delta Dental. We keep you smiling.
Begonias look good. Thanks.
Get back into football shape with NFL Preview, Sunday morning at 10 Eastern on CNN. It's up. It's good.
Now from Dish Network, a great movie offer. Order Stars, and you'll get 7 additional premium movie channels free. That's 8 movie channels for the price of 1. All from the Stars Super Pack, #1 in new hit movies. Over 500 movie choices every month. 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Only $10.99 a month. The Stars Super Pack, 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Call now, 1-800-333-DISH.
Well, I'm here in the Virginia Beach oceanfront soaking up some rays with Becky here. You having a good time, Becky?
Oh, yeah, it's a great beach.
Now, what if I were to show you a whole bunch of great things you could do besides sitting on the beach? Would you maybe want to come back a little sooner than next summer?
Sure.
Ah, great. Well, if you call this number right here on the screen.
Where?
Right, excuse me?
What number?
What if I were to tell you that simply by calling this number on the screen...
What screen?
Where?
You see it, don't you? Call the number on the screen, they'll shoot one right out to you.
Can I have this one?